Bernadette, you're responsible for the landscaping of Fumba Town. What made you join this journey of Fumba Town development?
A few years ago, when I started learning about permaculture, I realized it's a very, very effective tool to do something about the environment. And I was very convinced. And then when Fumba Town Development asked me to lead their landscaping team, I thought, why shouldn't I take the challenge and use permaculture on a bigger scale?
We often hear that term permaculture. Can you explain us in 2 sentences what permaculture actually means?
Permaculture is just mimicking nature. Nature will be our teacher. Nature shows us how things are done, the processes within the environment, and if we learn from that, we are practicing permaculture.
So what does that mean now for the landscaping of Fumba Town? What are you doing differently compared to other town developments?
Well, to begin with, we are using a lot of resources within Fumba Town, which means for the landscaping needs, we are using indigenous trees and plants, which then requires less water because they are adapted to this environment. And secondly, we are also using the local people to run the community, to run Fumba Town, which is again part of permaculture because you care for the people around the community.
What are your major challenges and how do you plan to tackle them?
As most of you know, Fumba Town will be located in a coral rag area, which means there is no soil. But with our Fumba Town Service Center, we are constantly producing soil using the organic matters we will get from the houses, plus of course from the other sources we have around the community, and we make that into soil, and this would enable us to have enough green spaces for the inhabitants of Fumba Town. And I said before, because we will be recycling the water at Fumba Town, we will be able to use them to irrigate our landscaping and all the other green areas. But for me, the biggest challenge will be a behavioral one, to convince the inhabitants, people who will be living in Fumba Town, that doing it through the permaculture way is the way to be able to tackle environmental issues.
Can you draw us a picture of your vision behind your efforts? How will the community living in Fumba Town benefit from your work?
My vision of Fumba Town landscaping is that when a homeowner enters our gate, they would feel like they are walking with nature. The problem with many big cities is that they are disconnected from the greens, from nature. And when we tell people we should protect nature, how can they protect something that they haven't experienced firsthand, something that they don't love? So that is my vision, that when they enter Fumba Town, they see this beautiful nature in front of them, and they will be able to teach their children about nature.
What fascinates you personally most about the project Fumba Town?
I'm very honored that I belong to a team that also sees that nature should take front stage in this development, from architects, engineers, gardeners, to even our apprentices who are being trained in permaculture. So I am very happy that there is a company behind us, Fumba Town Development under CPS, that is really making this possible.